Honorable, you sit in a very sweet spot as a legislator where you have a lot of leverage to actually influence the outcome of as we continue to reform this system. Thank you. To invite the next speaker, Dr. Farouk Umar. Can we have his picture on the screen, please? Dr. Farouk Umar was born in Kano in 1954. He got his bachelor master's degree from majoring in educational psychology. The University of Wisconsin in 1987. Brian was able to complete Gwani by the late Emir Kano, Al-Haji Adobayaro, on the recommendation of Sheikh Khalifa Rabiu, along with 5 other people. He currently serves as the director on the boards of several companies in Nigeria. Dr. Farouk, I'm now inviting you to please present your paper in 8 minutes, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. All protocols observed. Mr. Chairman, in order to reform the Almajiri system of education, we need to look beyond the schools. And I think there are 2 areas we Muslims in Nigeria, I'm recommending we should change our attitude. It is a well-known fact that the poorest states in Nigeria are in the north. So poverty is a big issue to us. But Mr. Chairman, you see the misapplication of priority. Every year, on the average, 1 million Nigerians go to Saudi Arabia for Umrah. And if you ask any travel agency, on the average, each pilgrim spends 1 million naira. Mr. Chairman, which means in a year for Umrah alone, we spend 1 million naira times 1 million Umrah pilgrims. And all we are told is that we will get reward by doing that. Now, if Nigerian Muslims will just keep Umrah for 1 year and now bring that money into a fund that will now cater for those who are not, those who are poor, and the Almajiri schools and so on, we will not need the government. So one of my recommendations, Mr. Chairman, is that we should make public enlightenment. Ulama like Dr. Bashir should tell people, and we know from Hadith, that for you to feed somebody is better than building a mosque or even going to Umrah. So I think we need to do that. In the alternative, if we cannot get people to abstain from going to Umrah for a year, for example, let the state legislators come up with a law whereby if you are going for Umrah, you will pay a 5% tax on your ticket. And that money will go into a fund that will now cater for what we are suggesting. This is one. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, which is more important to us now? Is it building a school or building a mosque? In Kano, we have over 4,000 mosques, but in each quarter in Kano, you find that you hardly get even an Islamia school. So I think, Mr. Chairman, we should also start educating people. We have so many mosques. And the idea of a mosque is not that every household should have a mosque. We are supposed to go to a mosque in a community, but you find that every 3-4 houses, everybody is building a mosque. The money we use in building a mosque, will that not cater for our Almajiris? Will that not help us if with that money, how many Almajiris can I take as to be their guardian, to pay for their school fees? So this is the second point. The third point, Mr. Chairman, is that we should make sure that the schools, the Tsangaya schools, are located in their communities. In Norway, for example, now you find that children going to primary and secondary schools, they go to the schools closest to their community. This will save cost. There is no need for accommodation. But Mr. Chairman, why do people send their children to other states? It is economic hardship. It's not the issue of even education, Mr. Chairman. Because if you take children from Maiduguri town or Kano or Sokoto, can somebody in Kano send his children to Dawakin Tofa? You will find that they only come to the rural area. And this is because people believe that while he is there, even if he is begging, he will make some money and send the money home. So I think local governments and state governments should ensure that at least there is economic empowerment to the parents. You can see that now, the way our politicians are and so on, it's not the best of it. We should now make sure that we have economic activities in these areas that will stop people from sending their children to rural, to urban areas. Mr. Chairman, also, if you take the primary schools we are having, now you are talking of building model schools. I commend the governor of Yobe for his efforts. I have heard him over BBC, and I think, Mr. Chairman, you should get his interview. There are 9 points that are really worthy of noting, which I don't have time to state them here. But 2 things I have picked from what he did. One, there would be registration of the Almajiris. Even if they come from other states, they will register. And then the parents, you can't, have a child and you don't even go to see what he's doing in the school. Let us not even talk of feeding the child. But the parents, when they send the children, they will never care to even ask of their health. That is all. He has sent the child to the city and he has no any other business in monitoring what he's doing. So now, can we do 2 things? One, can we now have primary schools, the first 2 years of primary school? Let us have this Tsangaya system there. We don't have to, it's not compulsory that a child must leave primary school at the age of 13, for example. The first 2 years can be done with all these Allah and Quranic Tsangaya schools, and then he can start the Western education. Alternatively, like we did when I worked with Kano State Foundation, we made it compulsory that no child will be promoted to the next year unless he has memorized the first his. So that's what we did. So that by the 3 years of junior secondary school, the child would have memorized 3 hifz. And if he goes to secondary school, it can be done that way. Another issue, Mr. Chairman, I think I have, my time is almost off. I want to say that we cannot leave this to government alone. Even the schools Jonathan has built, you find that in Jigawa, I'm sure His Royal Highness the Emir of Dutse will tell you this. There are only 370 pupils in the school in his domain, whereas an equivalent school of Western education, you'll find 3,700 students there. Why? Because there is no begging. And we are saying that we all support government to stop begging. But the issue of saying Almajiris are the only beggars is not true. And I think we should separate Almajiranci and begging. And I think government should do all it can do to make sure that it involves parents, teachers, and business community in transforming the Almajiri system. Thank you very much.